So Pat, last time Pat was one of the attendees, and she requested we look at portals. And what that is when you have an AR scene, it's the ability to place an arbitrary door somewhere, or window, some sort of a portal. And as you enter that portal, then it changes the environment. And it looks like Pat's just joining us. What I thought that would be interesting is from a distance learning or virtual learning environment, being able to have a classroom where you have different things in the room, and as somebody wants to, either the facilitator or teacher can enter that and change the environment, and then walk to a different part of the room and then change things again to something else. I think that could really be helpful for learning. It's not just for for creating games, and Pat probably can talk more about portals. But yeah, so we're gonna play with that. And I didn't really I didn't have the time to create my own portal. What I did is I went on GitHub and I posted in the meetup. If you go to the meetup right now, links, the comments, I posted links to 3 different repositories where there's somebody played with portals already, and they have posted some code on there. So you're free to download that and try it out. The first one is the one that ARKit-portal. That's the first one we're going to look at, and then we'll look at the one by BJ Arnell. Let's see. Yeah, well, I guess we can go ahead. Do you want to go ahead and download? Anybody want to follow along with the code? If you want to go ahead and download the first or the second repository from GitHub there on the link. Go ahead and do that.
First, I should find you in GitHub.
Yeah, so go to, I'm sorry, in this case, go to the meetup. You go to the meetup page.
Yeah, you shared your GS code last week's, yeah.
Yeah, that last time. So for this week, for today's session, there should be a comment. In the top of the comment says links to code we'll use in this workshop.
Yeah, you might have to refresh the meetup page. I had to a couple times before the comment showed up.
Okay, I see now. Yes.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that's right, because I just posted it. Yeah, and I can I'll post it in the chat as well.
Oh yeah, sounds good.
There we go. That's the first one to look at. All right, so what I'll do is I'll share my screen and we'll get started.
Oh, you shared 3 different links. And should I clone any of them?
The first one, yeah, and actually the way I did it, I didn't clone it. I went ahead and just downloaded the zip file, but you could cloning will work.
Okay. Or yeah, ARKit portal.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
And I'll go ahead and open it with Xcode. So when you unzip it, just click it, unzip it, and then go into it. You'll see one, just open the project file. And just open that with Xcode.
Yeah, I clicked on open with Xcode. Now it's launching now.
Okay, yeah, it will take a little bit. And if you recently updated to iOS 14, you may have to update Xcode as well.
Yeah. I do version 12.
Oh, okay. You just skipped 13 altogether, right? I've done that. All right. And I think that should hopefully work. Do you have, I'm going to move this out of the way here. This is, okay. All right. Anyone else need some more time?
With my crazy setup, I have a separate laptop that I've got all this stuff on, and it currently isn't charged. So I apologize. No. I am not ready to be running code today.
Okay. So let me show you what we have going here. I'll just run it on and we can go through the code as usual. First of all, let me make sure it's working. So what I did is I took the code that this gentleman published. It's running, so I'm just going to stop it. And I commented out all of what he's doing, which is adding the nodes, so we can go through and add them one by one and get a better understanding of what's going on. But he basically took a, and this is where I went. By the way, let me share with you the site. This is called Fixed. Is this the one, Fixed Doors? Yeah. So he did a little tutorial here, which you can look at. It's linked from the GitHub page. And if you search, basically, if you go to GitHub and you search for ARKit portal, it's it's like the #2 most starred repository. And so what he did is he took what we've been doing every time we just create a new program, and he didn't even bother to delete the ship scene because he's basically overriding it. Well, actually, once that happens, he's going to set up scene right here, where he's creating nodes for every flat surface that's identified in the room. So he's creating basically he's creating a box, basically, like a virtual box, positioning that ahead, and then you end up in the box and it just blurs and creates this kind of weird environment. He's using assets, I think. Let me see if there's any assets in here. Nope, I don't see. Let's see here. Well, I thought he was using images. How's he doing the blurring here? Let me see here what's going on. Oh, I see. Okay, so he's using a light source inside of the box. So let's go ahead and I'm going to uncomment. Let's do the top wall first, like the ceiling, I guess. And let's do the left and the right nodes, and let's see how that goes. Okay, and we'll run it and see how this looks. It's interesting how people take very different approaches to, well, I guess that's a known thing, but I'm always interested to see how people take different approaches at these different examples. Okay, are you able to see my my view from my device? Okay, good. All right, so here we go. You notice that I'm in the box.
Yeah.
And so we are only replacing the left side of it and the right wall. And I think if I turn it behind me, we didn't do anything behind me, so there I am. And so that's basically what he did, is created a little, which is kind of cool. So that's a nice start with the code. You can see what he did. And if I move out of it, I can get out and I can move over here and I can still see, well, I can still see it from the outside. Notice that my hand, oh, look at this, isn't that cool? That my hand is reaching into the box right there. So, all right. So then we can continue. We can add the bottom wall. And we can do the back wall. So that way we'll be almost completely boxed. No pun intended. All right. And so now we're completely enclosed. There's the floor. And the ceiling is black. Floor is white, and I can move back. And and there's a wall. Oh, wait a minute. There's the back wall. There should be a back wall. It's kind of weird that I can see out of it.
Did he mention the back wall in the code that you were uncommenting?
Yeah, I did right here.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So Yeah, this is similar to what we've done before. When we were first starting out looking at ARKit, we were creating these boxes with height. And he added here is if it's a door, that gives it a length. If it's a door, so, and then what's a masked box? Let's see what that is. It's got, this is an interesting transparency of 0.000. That's very interesting. And then what that, why is so many zeros? I'm going to take away the one in front of us in the view controller so that we don't have the one in front of us. Left, right, bottom. Let's comment out the bottom, I'm sorry, the back wall. And left, right, top.
So there's no front wall.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking that the bottom, the one that's the back is the one that's getting placed in front, right? Let's try that again. Yeah, because it could be speaking of the back of the phone, right? The back wall is the back of the phone.
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah. Okay, yep, it is.
Okay. Okay, so the other one that we were seeing was actually the front wall.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
That makes sense.
That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what that transparency change did. I don't see the difference. Let me walk away and see if I can see it from outside and see what that looks like.
Oh.
Okay, so I think it's got to be something like this. There's some strange. I don't know if you can see what's going on here. There's a strange effect. Maybe that's a fix that he made to remove that. But anyway, here's the shape. Here's our portal, and so yeah, very cool. We can go through it. And we go inside of it and live in the portal. Go ahead and I'm going to change that transparency back real quick and see if that was what was causing that that issue here in the extensions. I forget how many zeros he had. We had a bunch. Let's try that again. Okay. In it, I'm going to walk around. What is this thing? Oh, it's still there. Oh, that's the first thing he adds. I didn't even notice that earlier. Okay. So that's putting it in, that's what's giving us that luminescence inside the box. Okay. Pretty basic. He's just building a box and putting it in. So to make this work for us, we would want to create a function called setup scene, but instead of we want to pass parameters to it to create more than one box, for example, so you can go through different rooms. Anyway, any questions about this? I want to go now to the next code because that one actually places a door that you can walk into, and that then once you enter the door, now you're in a different world, right? Instead of a box. I thought that was interesting, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Anybody have any questions about this?
Okay, I just unmuted myself. No, the second one is the one that you're about to go into. That's the one that I'm interested in.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and close this. So anyway, this project was the first one that's listed on the meetup. And the code worked right out of the box. I want to show you one change you need to make. And when I go into let me go into this other portal project right here. And let's see where we are here. Okay, get rid of this. When you download this from GitHub, the first thing you need to do is go to signing in capabilities. So when you go by default, you'll see this and it'll have somebody else's bundle identifier. Just leave that alone. Go to signing capabilities and change the default, whatever it came in as, to your own, your own signature. And then once you've got that, it should build and run just fine. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and build the next one. And actually, let's take a look at the code first. That's kind of always helpful to look at the code before. I just crashed something here. Okay, I just stopped it and restarted it, and my Xcode is confused. Okay, go into View Controller, and let's take a look at what's going on here. All right, this one's a little more complex because instead of just building a box and placing it somewhere in space arbitrarily, what they're doing is they're going to give us the surface detection that we were playing with last workshop. So it's going to find us a plane, let you tap on the surface, and then that will place the portal in that space or on that surface. So this is the setup for that. What else is going on here? So this is being done, update plane overlay, plane counter, and because it's going to be, as if you remember, it's constantly detecting surfaces and planes as you're moving around. So when you start viewed at load, we're just adding the texture recognizer and a tap target. So
Chris, we're looking at the first one.
So we're looking at the second. So if you're talking about the
second one.
Yes, the code.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Sure, of course. And okay, so that's in the viewed at load, and then I don't like when they kind of mix in here new functions with what Apple provides you by default. But normally, you go view will appear, and you're adding world tracking configuration, and we're setting it up for horizontal plane detection, which tells me we're going to be pointing the phone, the device, at the floor. And light estimation enabled. So this is something we haven't actually played with yet. Light estimation enabling. That is done to estimate the light. So if you're in a darker room versus a lighter, like a more bright room, this will let us place an object that its intensity or its light output is matched to the room. So light estimation enabled, I've only read about it, I haven't actually used it yet. Okay, normal handling when view disappears. And then these functions are going to now let us look for the surfaces. Did the user tap on the surface? And then we're going to be adding, if you can look at the assets, where are the assets? Right here. They've got, oh, right here. They have all of these cool surfaces, like we're doing with the solar system. There's going to be a normal, there's going to be, see a bump map and all that stuff. And it looks like there's a specular as well. So this is going to give the ability to create a more engaging world. And then this, I don't know how this is going to get used yet. I saw this and I thought, well, this will be really kind of cool to have that, have that insanity going on. So the environment blur and the environment blur.exr file. We'll look at how that's used. And going back to the view controller, let me go do a quick search for .exr. What is this called? Environment. Environment. So let's see where we are using those. There you are. Oh. Enable environment map with intensity. And there's the assets. So it looks like we're just gonna be mapping that, or yeah, placing that on the scene. You disappear. Okay, so I think this looks very promising. That we should be able to get some really cool special effects for this app. Let's take a quick look here, going down, and then we'll run it and see where we are. Okay, so we're adding a door to the. So it looks like we're going to be trying to detect the floor because we're detecting horizontal surfaces. And then we're adding the door, a door that we're creating on here. So this should be very interesting. And then here's, we saw that we were using these, remember last time, update, render, did add node. So we're incrementing the counter of planes that we're adding, but we're not doing anything when we add a node. This looks incomplete to me, actually. Did add the node. All he's doing is increasing the counter. Yeah, so, okay, so this, everything looks great except when we look at these, this doesn't look complete at all because as the device recognizes different planes, these delegates get triggered, but I don't see anything happening, right? Because if you remember last time, let's do print, just did add triggered. This to that gets triggered right here. And here we do this. I'm going to do will update. And don't know what's supposed to happen here. Oh, did we move? Yeah. Okay. All right, well, let's take a look. All right, so far so good. Looks like there's a label. So horizontal surfaces, see if it detects my desk. Okay, tap on a surface to place the board. Okay, all right, well, we did add something to our, well, it looks like we just got transported to a whole other world here.
Yeah, it looks like your texture and material is inside your box and you're inside the box.
Yeah, I mean, so I think yeah, it's more than just a box, though, Pat. You notice it's actually what it did. It's not update. Updating is not doing anything at this point. I don't think you wanted that to happen. What it did is it replaced all the surfaces that it knew about in my room have been replaced by this new surface.
So you're not in a portal, you're just applying materials?
Yeah, it looks like materials just went ahead and replaced everything that was in my room. Because I see my desk, this is my desk right here. And then this is my wall right here on the left. And then, I'm sorry, this is the left wall. And then on the right, I've got another wall right here. Okay, so that was interesting. So it replaced all my surfaces, and I think that was probably a different way to do things. It's not quite what we wanted, right? We didn't want to replace the whole room.
Right.
In front of your camera. And
Right.
that Pokemon is there in your car, or he's there on the sidewalk, or he's there in the middle of your lunch. Uh, and
Right,
you can
right.
take pictures of them and you can capture them, and the entire game kind of rolls over the top of this AR background, although there's not much in the way of interaction. And that's actually sort of one of my objections to all the AR games is I don't see any of them that are really using AR in a constructive way. Like, what, you're not interacting with your real world. You're just interacting with a layer that's been put over the top of your real world. And in fact, most people who play those AR games turn off AR mode almost immediately because
Oh,
it's just distracting.
really? But
Yeah,
what about people in both medical and training fields, you know, like industrial training, and they use
right,
AR so you can like learn how to weld or something?
right. Now that makes more sense. And the thing that I've always heard about, but I've never seen the application, is if you're out in the field and you're looking at a device that you need to repair, like a printer or something,
Right.
being able to superimpose the schematics for that printer over the top of the printer and find out what the parts are
Yes,
would be
exactly.
a really good use of AR.
Yeah.
That makes more, yeah, that's actually makes more sense to me because, right, I was looking at this earlier. We're recognizing, you know, for the walls and all that stuff, but we haven't done anything to like recognize this pen, right, or this device or my keyboard.
Right.
So, which is suggesting is that instead we create some method to recognize this thing and say, oh, here's a pen, and then I could next to it draw like the text specs of the pen or whatever, or just have something here that says to dismantle this pen, you know, do this, and you could even animate like a video right next to it, right? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. And I'm thinking, you know, like when I repair my coffee maker, which happens, you know, about once, I I always have to run that video and then go over to the coffee machine and try and remember what I saw and go back and look at the video again. And so if I could actually bring the AR to it and have it maybe be able to detect something about, okay, you've opened it up, so now here are the things that you can see, and this is what they're called, and this is what they do. That would be really useful.
Yeah, yeah. We had a on-demand water heater have problems this summer,
Uh-huh.
and we had to talk to the company. And basically, the company talked us through it, you know, how to take it apart and what to look at, and then read them a code. And it
Right.
would have just been perfect had we had an AR app to do that.
Yeah, that you could have just started up and they could have seen what you were looking at,
Right.
or they could have, you know, or there could have been some videos. And so there's a big there's a big disconnect when you're talking to somebody, when you're like a naive consumer and you're talking to tech support, and that disconnect is, what do I call these things? And if
Right.
there's some way of getting a label to the parts of the thing you're looking at would be
Right, right. So like you said, the schematic, we had to go and run and download a PDF on a computer, look at
right.
the PDF so we understood the schematic they were talking about. And if you do it
Right.
wrong, you could like blow it up. So it does make a difference.
Yeah, it does. And a PDF is flat. You can't rotate it around to match what you're seeing.
Right.
I don't know that we have these tools in ARKit. There's definitely a way to do it. I don't know that there is something that lets me detect a custom shape, right? Because in this case,
Mhm.
how do I detect a pen, or how do I detect? Because yeah, we can detect horizontal and vertical surfaces, but how do I know that it's a pen? And let's see if there is a way to do it. I guess we can always go and Google it.
Sure.
I mean, the way you would do it in Unity is you make things triggers and then you do things according to the trigger. But I don't know about Xcode.
Right.
Are triggers things that are attached to objects or actions? Or
Well,
gestures?
you would trigger a thing. So if you touch the pen, that would be a trigger. and then maybe it would
Okay.
wake up and do some calligraphy or something.
So that's like a gesture combined with a place on the screen.
Yes, it's definitely a XYZ coordinate.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so there's no ARKit only detects planes. However, we can actually, if we have an image of it, obviously, we can then use our own image processing library to detect to match the shape, basically. So if we say, okay, this is what we're looking for. We're looking for this pen, and this is what the scene is seeing. We can actually do image recognition. So it's doable for sure.
Mm.
So let me ask you this, Chris. It seems like at this stage of ARKit development that what you can detect in a room automatically is pretty limited. Is that true?
It seems that way, yeah. It does seem that way. Because I mean, from what I've seen people do, I haven't seen anybody do like this is on the forum question. Somebody asked that question, and the answer from was it an official answer from Apple? Let me check that real quick. Turning fan on shape recognition. So this one post on the Apple developer forum says that we can only detect planes.
Okay.
Apple developer doc. Let's take a look at that.
Okay.
Connected surfaces. Yeah, when you look at, so here's only dot horizontal and dot vertical. I mean, it's a start for sure. But yeah, I don't think I have the ability right now to detect anything other than, I mean, I don't even seem to be able to detect a sphere, for example.
Yeah, okay. So I'm wondering, I mean, I know that Apple knows how to detect faces.
Mm-hmm.
So clearly they have some technology there that I would think would allow you to detect what a thing is, but I don't think it seems to be bundled up with ARKit. It must be
Right.
something else.
Yeah, it does seem that way. Ray testing.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see what they say about
Well, maybe that's my homework for 2 weeks is to try and do a little bit of research to find out if there are other toolkits we might want to be looking at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm also putting something in the chat here that's just about the patent that Apple got this summer, because in a certain way that kind of tells us where they're headed, with their glasses.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because eventually this is all going to be via the glasses, right?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, obviously you can carry around your phone, but what you would really like is just to be passively wearing something and take it in the world.
Right.
Okay, so you might check this link out as well. We're checking visualizing and interacting with a reconstructed scene. So
Okay.
That is interesting because they do show an example of a chair being meshed and visualized in reality kits. So they're using a mesh chair provided by ARKit. So maybe this is what we play with next. Yeah, let's do some research, and then next time we'll have we'll have something better, hopefully, some better tools for doing this.
And what library are we looking at here? Is this part of the AR library?
This is the ARKit, looks like, yes.
Yes, okay.
It's in the ARKit documentation, world tracking, visualizing, and interacting with a reconstructed scene.
Oh, this is interesting.
Yeah. But here's the thing. This seems to be requiring a LIDAR scanner.
Ah.
or which my iPhone does not have. That I,
Yeah,
that
I actually just got one.
Did
oh,
you really?
Yep, yep, because it's what I need to do to kind of like 3D digitize
cool.
the room that I'm going to be working on.
Are they expensive?
No, the one that I got is the one in the new iPad Pro. So it's a very low end one. Yeah, the ones that you really use, like I have friends in the Park Service who use LIDAR cameras, and they were like $30,000.
Yikes.
And they just finished doing the bats, Calaveras bats,
Yeah.
going in caves and doing all this 3D stuff. And I have friends at the British Museum that are using the very high end ones that, again, they can be like up to $30,000. So what Apple said is, well, we're going to start using it. So the first thing they did is the iPad Pro. I haven't even done it yet. I've been so busy, but it took like 6 weeks for it to get here.
Wow.
I just got it. And, of course, when you read articles on it, people are like, oh, it's really lame. It's not as good as a real LiDAR camera. I just want to learn in general, even if it's very rough, how all this works.
Sure.
I
Yeah.
just don't know how it works. And then maybe get time on some other, government or university entities, real cameras.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're going to be running the workshop in 2 weeks because
Well,
I do not.
I still have to get a new Mac. It's like I'm behind. I'm very, very behind.
Tell me about it.
I just so we got to figure this out because I just got a new Mac Mini, and
I'm thinking about that. And what do you think? You think that'd be good for running Xcode?
oh yeah, it's very good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I don't know if there's two versions of it. There's the one with like gobs of processors. I got the lower end one. It's still faster than my MacBook.
Okay.
And so it's definitely, I think it's very nice for the money. I think it's a lot of computing power in a small package.
If you could just send me an email or something, it's definitely one of the things that I'm looking at. It's just, there's so many things.
Right, I know. Has anybody heard any rumors that if the new iPhone 12 is going to have the LIDAR capability or the LIDAR feature in it?
I don't know, but it's pretty soon. So we'll know soon.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've been waiting on. I mean, I know I've been thinking about LIDAR for quite a while, and I think this is what the reality of today's workshop is we're hitting that limit where we don't have the capability to recognize these objects.
Yeah. Right.
Without doing a lot of coding. I think it's still doable to do it visually, but the LIDAR is going to give us. I mean, from what I'm reading just on this one page here from their documentation, RealityKit is using the information provided by ARKit. So RealityKit is going to give us the ability to recognize probably just about any object that you would encounter in a normal household. And so I think that's what we should do next is look at RealityKit and see what does RealityKit.
Okay, and maybe by the next workshop, I'll actually do some. Again, I haven't done anything. I haven't even set up email on my iPad. I haven't done anything. But I'll try to do a LiDAR scan and report back. Again, it's going to be low end compared to these high end cameras, but it's a start, and maybe we can just understand how it works.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
Yeah, great.
Thank you for these 3 examples too.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I if you guys find any more, just feel free to post them on the meetup.
Okay.
And so we can all look at them.
Okay.
Sweet. All right. Well,
Thanks.
am I still sharing it? Stop sharing. And yeah, have a good weekend.
Okay, you too. Take care.
Take
Okay.
care.
Bye.